What's up, y'all? I'm Cherish. If this is your first time here, welcome to the family. This is a place where faith meets real life. And if you're back again, hey boo, you know the drill. How was your week? Was life lifing or was it an amazing week? Any praise reports, prayer requests? Drop them in the comments so we can celebrate with you or pray for you. Whatever you need, we got you. Y'all, believe it or not, I'm just now coming out of that lukewarm season with God. For a long time, I thought I was good. I thought reading my Bible here and there meant I had a relationship with Him. But what I didn't realize was that I was half in and half out. And that's not a place God ever wants us to stay in. Revelations chapter 3, verse 16 says, "So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out of my mouth." Do y'all understand how serious that is? For God to say, "I'm about to spit you out of my mouth," baby, not a place I want to be. He's not okay with half commitment. He's not okay with being your backup plan. He wants all of you, not just the version you bring to church on Sundays. And I know that firsthand because for a long time, I was that girl. I thought I was doing enough. I was reading my Bible sometimes, saying my prayers, but I was still holding on to the things that were pulling me away from God. And the truth is, I didn't even realize how far gone I was until I started noticing this one thing. I was always going through some kind of mental breakdown or depressive episode. I felt heavy, confused, exhausted. And it wasn't until I got serious about my walk that I realized I wasn't just tired, I was under spiritual attack. And I had no idea what spiritual warfare even was at that time, if I'm being completely honest. I was battling something invisible, and that messed me up. I was tired of the mental battles, tired of feeling alone, tired of pretending I had it together. My poor husband, y'all, he was the only person I could talk to. And honestly, he was fighting his own battles too. One night, I broke. I looked at him and said, "Whatever this is beyond me. I think I need to give it to God." And from that moment on, I did. I started praying more, reading the Bible, but I was still living like I used to, drinking, smoking, still holding on to secular music and old habits. I didn't know any better. I was new to this, not true to this. Nobody told me that spiritual growth takes time. I didn't know the spiritual realm was real or that I had spiritual authority. I thought reading my Bible was enough, but it's not about reading, it's about living it. Looking back now, I can say God took me through a long, deep transformation, one piece at a time. And honestly, I wouldn't change any of it. I was still wilding in the beginning. I was young, but something in me started to shift. And I think a lot of it came from knowing I had two daughters at that time watching me. I couldn't tell them one thing while living a completely different way. That realization alone pushed me to start changing. I started going to therapy. That's when God really began showing me what needed to be healed. The biggest thing, confidence. I had been in isolation, battling self image, afraid to put myself out there. Then came the next test. Could I still walk in obedience while being surrounded by people who weren't? I had just started working again after being a stay at home mom for like 6 years. I made friends. I was around coworkers. And I noticed something. When I was around them, I started blurring the lines. They were of the world. And so for a moment, I was too. That was the moment I realized my spirit and my flesh were constantly at war. And that battle lasted, I want to say, about a good 3 years. I want to take you back to the moment that changed everything for me. It was October, right around Halloween. I want to say about 2 years ago. And for days, I kept seeing videos pop up on my feed: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. Everywhere I turned, it was the same warning in different voices. Christians should not be celebrating Halloween. Don't go trick or treating, it's demonic. Protect your children, close those spiritual doors. It wasn't once or twice, it was every single time I opened up my phone. Video after video, post after post. And deep down, I knew God was trying to get my attention, but I ignored it. I had already told myself this would be our last year going out. The costumes were already bought, the kids were excited, and truthfully, I didn't want that money to go to waste. So we went. I prayed over my family before we left. I prayed during, I prayed the whole time we were out, thinking that we would be fine. Nothing happened that night. Nothing happened the next week. I thought I was in the clear. Fast forward to about December, weeks later. We were packing and getting ready for a family trip. But one of my daughters, who's always jumping, bouncing off the walls, flipping, dancing, everything, child, she getting everything. She was just on the couch, not moving, lethargic, sleeping all day. She had a fever that wouldn't break. She wouldn't eat. And this went on for days. I thought, okay, maybe she caught something small. Let me take her to urgent care, get her some antibiotics so we can be good for this trip. I wasn't worried at all. We got to urgent care, and within minutes, they took her temp, did some testing, and said everything was fine. But they wanted to send her to ER because she had some pain whenever she would turn her head from side to side, and they just wanted to be sure that she was okay. And just like that, everything froze. I remember the silence in that moment, the kind that hits you hard when you can hear your own heart beating. I held her hand and kept telling myself it wasn't serious, that we were just going for antibiotics so she could feel better for our trip. But thinking back on it now, I'm wondering if that urgent care doctor knew the seriousness of it and came up with a reason for me to have to take her in to be checked. But when we got to ER, they ran some tests, took one look at her numbers, and told me she had a rare form of COVID that was attacking her heart and causing heart failure. I couldn't breathe. I felt the room spin and everything inside of me shattered. I sat there in disbelief. I was like, I don't receive that. She don't have COVID. The urgent care had tested her for all kinds of stuff and didn't say a thing. Y'all, it was rough. I cried, I pleaded, I prayed. I told God, I don't care what I thought before, I need you to show up on my behalf right now. I was on the phone with my sister, and she said something that shifted everything for me. She told me that I had the authority. And I didn't even know the weight of what that meant at the time, but I clung on to it like it was the only thing keeping me standing. She sent me prayers to play, and I had them on a loop all day, all night. I played them over my daughter. I played them in the hospital room. I played them until the atmosphere changed. And then God showed up. Night 3, my husband and I tag team. He stayed with my daughter in the hospital while I went to go get my other 2 daughters, spend some time with them, and get me and baby girl some things from home because I hadn't left the hospital since the day she was admitted. I was doing the dishes that night when his presence, it filled the room so heavy, so real, and so undeniable. All I could do was cry and worship. It was in that moment that I knew God is real and He's here. They said she'd be in the hospital for weeks. They said the heart damage might be permanent, but God had other plans. She was discharged early, and that heart failure, it was gone. And right now, that same little girl is back to flipping, jumping, running, and tap dancing on my last nerve like nothing ever happened. She's perfectly healthy. And that was the moment that pushed me out of my lukewarmness. That was the moment I gave God all of me. You know what's funny? People always say if you give your life to God, you're going to lose everything. But for me, I didn't lose, I gained. I used to think that if I fully surrendered, I'd have to give up everything that made me me. But looking back, the only things that I gave up were the things that were holding me back. Drinking, gone. Smoking, gone. Secular music, mostly. Look, I still listen to my 90s and early 2000s music because that's what I grew up on. But now I actually pay attention to the message. And if it don't sit right with my spirit, I turn it off. I don't listen to it often, but if I'm cleaning and Run It by Chris Brown come on, I ain't skipping it. There are certain shows that I've stopped watching, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I started protecting my spirit. And listen, discernment is real. Once you start seeing things for what they actually are, you can't unsee it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to watch my action movies, my psychological thrillers, and not to get those confused with horror. I don't do scary, but I do love the movies that make you think. But if I catch some hidden message that most people wouldn't even think twice about, you better believe I'm rebuking all demonic transferences and going on about my day. It's not about what you give up, it's about what you gain when you let go. I thought I'd be losing myself by following God, but in reality, I was finally becoming who I was always meant to be. There was a time when I was isolated. I thought I had to do and figure everything out alone. I had struggles that no one knew about. But God restored what the enemy tried to take from me. I gained peace. I gained clarity. I gained purpose. The things I once ran to for comfort, I don't need them anymore. The lifestyle I thought I couldn't live without, God showed me something better. My story is not perfect, but it's real. And if you've ever been scared to surrender because you think you'll lose everything, you won't. You'll lose what's keeping you stuck. But what will you gain? Peace, clarity, purpose, identity. God doesn't strip you to punish you, He prunes you to prepare you. So, no, I didn't lose everything. I gained everything I didn't know I needed. Okay, y'all. So, that's it for me. But now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been scared to fully surrender because of what you thought you lose? Or maybe you in that place right now. Let's talk about it in the comments because this walk, you don't have to do it alone. If this video encouraged you, go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification so you'll never miss what's next. Your transformation starts with truth. So keep seeking, keep growing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, y'all.